Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the major stories. The head of state received Bahrain head of diplomacy for diplomatic discussion. A new record temperature in April. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, received this Thursday afternoon at the Presidential Palace the Bahrain Foreign Minister, Mr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid. His visit to Djibouti comes as part of a tour he is making to many countries, member state of the League of Arab States, with the aim of consulting with their leaders on an agenda. The work of the 33rd regular summit of the League scheduled to be held on Panama in the period of May 15. This important meeting between the President of the Republic and the head of Bahrain diplomacy highlighted a similar and fully reviewed on the need to give the Palestinian issues priority, the agenda of the upcoming Arab Summit. The two sides also agreed to include issues related to the development of the education, health, human rights, and the basic agenda of the Arab League Council meeting summit. It should be noted that the visit of Mr. Abdel Latif bin Abdel Rashid to Djibouti falls within the framework of the tireless effort undertaken by Bahrain diplomacy to make it a success. Within the framework of the plenary session held in the Great Hall of Parliament, the headquarters, to discuss the general policy of the government, which was held under the presidency of the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Dilaita Mohammed Dilaita, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed, exchange with the representative of people and members of the government his opinion and ideas about the government's general policy. During this mission and session, important topics related to business development were discussed. The government, agriculture, health, education, and justice issues was left aside in this circumstance, and the constructive verbal discussion. The minister answered the question posed to them and parliamentarians with the confidence they provide a detailed clarification for the parts. The Prime Minister affirmed the government is a commitment to listen and take into account the concern of every citizen. These issues, which include constant exchange of question and answer, embodies the essence democracy in brilliant coordination policies, and their concern were taken into account. On the agenda, traditional debates on general government policies and question a representative of the people took the podium after the other to question the minister on several themes, notably the question in the plenary speech at the opening of a debate, the general policy of the government, and the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Dilaita Mohammed Dilaita, reminded everyone, members of the government as well as the parliamentarians, the imperative to comply the standards and ensure the harmonized debate. Then it was the president of the parliamentary groups as a whole, RPP and Fruit, who expressed their support for the policy and program carried out by the government under the aegis of the President of the Republic. And on the agenda, the traditional debate for these policies government represent the podiums and question of development, agriculture, fisheries, education, and urban transport were questioned for the national industries and telecommunication being the young people concerned following the multiple question members of the government representative to the responded to the various questions and remarks presented by the nation's elected official. As for the Prime Minister, Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed speaking, reiterate the government's firm commitment to taking into account consideration of all question, observation, and raised by the parliamentarians of their executions of the general policy declaration of the government and the press of the parliament before closing the session, and expresses deep satisfaction with the work carried out and exchange of democratic debates, and declare close the debate session on the general government's policy. The Minister of Islamic Affairs and Endowment, Mr. Mumin Hassan Barre, received a Qatari delegation led by Mr. Saad Fadil, an Assistant Director for Islamic Affairs and President of Investment Department and General Administration of Endowment, in addition to the Embassy of Qatar in charge of the Embassy of Qatar Airways in Djibouti, Mr. Ibrahim Abdullah. The meeting took place in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry and also the Director General of the Assistant Executive Secretary of the Islamic Supreme Council and Director General of the Institute in the culture and peace issues. During the meeting, the successful cooperation between the two ministers in the file of affairs were reviewed, religious and endowment. This visit came within the framework of agreement concluded between the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowment and Qatari counterpart during the working visit. The state of Qatar in March 2022 made welcome the Qatari delegation, praising at the same time the distinguished relation between Djibouti and Qatar, congratulating the level of cooperation between the two institutions. He also touched on Doha Grand Mosque, which is considered a symbol of ties, the brotherhood that united the two countries. These visits represent an opportunity for the delegation to visit Doha Mosque in addition to exploring opportunities available to develop a nearby endowment project. A workshop was held at the Institute for Diplomatic Studies for the result of a plan evaluations United Nations framework for development assistance in Djibouti for the period 2018 to 2024. The ceremony was assured by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, but also the UN resident coordinator in Djibouti and members of management committee of the nation framework plan participated in this workshop. The United Development Assistant, which brings together the Secretary General of the Ministry's sectorial, in addition to the head of entities in the United Nations system in Djibouti, in addition to the experts and technical team from the different institution, the plan is formed the United Nations Development Assistance Framework. A common responses of the United Nations system to develop the problems identified through the analysis was conducted as part of the joint and country's evolution in September 2016. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, a representative, he said in his speech that he is aligned with national development priorities, including the accelerate growth strategy and promoting employment and Djibouti's national development plan, but also in order to make a sustainable development goals. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamad, shared last Sunday at Sydney Hill in Arta region, a launching ceremony of regional training of the workshop. The 5 days courses were focused on a file of disaster and the investigation into a toxic substance outbreaks. This workshop was organized by the National Institute of Public Health in Djibouti with the with the health network with the aim of creating highly qualified regional trainers uh, who are equipped to respond to complex challenge in the health and fisheries disasters. This occasion took place in the presence of the Prefect of Arta Region Hassan Dabele and the President of the Regional Council, Mr. Elmi Bouh, in addition to the regional representative of the African network, the Director General for the National Institute of Public Health, and also the representative of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention from Somaliland, Ethiopia, participated in this workshop. The Prefect of Arta region, Mr. Hassan Dabele, thank all the organizers for this workshop who are focused in this session, he said, in the file of disaster epidemiologies and investigation for a toxic and substance outbreak in order to maintain a highly qualified, acquire basic skill to respond a better public health emergency. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Health stressed in his speech the importance of regional preparations and readiness for this training health disaster in Djibouti. He also highlighted that the participant acquire a basic skill for the public health emergency and and they are targeting crucial rules for the epidemiologists in the crisis management and the importance of disaster monitoring. Within the framework of the Access of Drinking Waters project funded by the Agency of United States for International Development in partnership established in Al Sabih region, uh, the Pioneers Club Association Young Entrepreneurs held a closing ceremony for training courses on the effective use of water at the headquarters of branch of National Union of Djibouti of Women in Al Sabih. Many families benefited from these courses on how to use balanced waters, demonstrating the positive impact this workshop had on their daily lives. Participants again a certificate were distributed to the beneficiaries in appreciation of their commitment and participation in the event of the project. The certificate delivery ceremony was attended by the Deputy Governor of the Department of Ali Sabiha region, the Director of Refugees Affairs Department, and the President of Ali Sabiha Club Association for Young Entrepreneurs. But also a representative of the Ministry of Women and Families in Ali Sabih region, the trace and welcome the efforts made to enhance the beneficiaries welcome this initiative in order to access drinking water in particular for all the women of Ali Sabih region. Committee sure with the evaluations of the conduction of local sport stadium for state secretary in charge of sport this morning visit the various stadium in Balbala community under the guidance of the inspector general and the committee consisting director met with the senior official from the state secretary in charge of sport, the mayor of Balbala, Mr. Mohammed Hassan Said, to discuss the objective and importance of this project, the task, as well as the need for close cooperation with the local authorities. The committee conducted an inspection tour of the sports facilities to closely monitor the condition of these stadiums, accompanied by the mayor of these closest aid and monitors every sport facilities carefully and take all the notes related to the stadium. This initiative came within the framework to requests and the wake of requests expressed by the Sports Association, the neighborhood youth during the recent discussion conference with the youth organized by the administration of the stadium issues. The bull shark training conducted the exercises of 2024 in the Hall of Honors at Djibouti Kastegad is a Maritime Training Center in Camp Dorale on the 7th from May 2024. The bull shark exercise combined among the joint forces of United States, the Horn of Africa, the Djiboutian Kasagad, the National Navy, and the brigades, a rapid response of the Djiboutian Army forces and relevant European forces to combat the piracy on the Kasagad and the region represented by Spain's French forces stationed in Djibouti, in addition to Colonel Wais Umar Bokri and the commander of the Kasagad participated in this conducting a training workshop. In addition to the number of officials representing the national forces and international partners, this exercise aims to enhance the conscious and file of security and maritime safety among partners participating in it. The exercise concludes maritime and land aspect where a search and rescue operation were carried out, but also the practical series of project. Among the special moments was the first experience of parachute jumping by the team searching the Department of Djiboutian Kasagad. The training demonstrated the extent of human efforts and technologies use of important effort made in the cooperation and collaboration between different partners who aim to achieve professional and effective accountability. In his remarks during the ceremony, the for the relation between the Djiboutian Kasagad partners and the National Navy. In the framework of the International Junior Football Championship under the age of the 13, won the Djiboutian national team for the youth training center of the Republican Guards. The football in the first official match, the team of Bure Football Club Academy got a 4 point in his first two matches and at a time of a top table in the international tournament with this for the aim of the Republican Guard football The football they introduce with the dominate best of football countries. So this tournament is internal under the 13 footballs tournament that was established in 1986 and brings together hundreds of children from more than 25 countries around the world every year. Remember that this tournament was a source of discoveries and also the great international players like Zidane and Henry, but also other football players. And now moving on to the international scenes, amid a torrent of warning and the Israeli practically begin to invade Rafah, ignoring the Hamas agreed to a proposed ceasefire agreement, and it was possible to reach it to United States, Egypt, and Qatar countries as Israeli forces storm the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing in city and increase international because the step lead to the closure of a crossing both sides and the interruption of a flu aid as well as the isolations of entire Gaza Strip from the world's. The United Nations Secretary General described the attack as a strategic mistake and potential disaster, a human nightmare. As for the European Union, the foreign policy official said, and fear for many civilian casualties occur, saying that there are no safe areas in Gaza. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.